welcome to Castle in the Air. Today we will be making moth books using the Clio Made for Castle in the Air craft kit. Use the kit to learn the techniques. We want to encourage you to get creative with your application. All of the supplies included in the kits are available individually at Castle in the Air. Once you've practiced the concept, you can change colors and sizes to fit your inspiration. Inside the kit you will find a quick reference instruction sheet, floral wire, bamboo skewers, 4 colors of floral crepe, 4 colors of parchment paper, cardstock, artwork of the moth wings. You'll also need to supply your own tacky glue, needle nose pliers, and wire cutters. Creating the stem. Wrap a skewer with green crepe. Cut a strip with the grain, enough that it will wrap all the way around at once. A little bit of glue on it. I usually just smooth it out with this. You could use a glue brush too. Wrap the green crepe around the bamboo skewer. Trim off the end. Now we'll cut some leaves to go on the stem. Cut the leaf in the shape of a spade and vary the sizes a little bit, small to large. You'll put the small ones on the top. You just want a little stem on the bottom and a point on the top. Arrange them small to large. Put the small one on the top. You just need a little bit of glue right on this edge right here. I'm not going to go all the way to the top of the skewer because that's where the butterfly is going to rest. So I'm going about 1/2 inch down from the top. Your next leaf should go in a different direction. If that one's going that way, this one's going to go on this way. Got the small leaf on the top, working down to the big leaf. So that's the finished stem and leaf where the moth will sit. Set that aside to dry. Creating the moth. Step 2 is to cut out the artwork. We're making this set of moth wings right now. It's important to line everything up and keep it in the order that you saw it on the postcard. For example, these wings can easily get turned going the wrong direction if you don't keep track of which way they're facing from the beginning. Cut around the artwork, trimming off all the white surrounding the wings. Trace around a set of wings on the cardstock. You're going to need 2 copies of each of these. So there's 2 of that wing, and then there's going to be 2 of this wing. And cut out 2 copies of the wings. So you have the artwork wings and 2 sets of cardstock wings. Keep everything lined up like this so you can tell which direction the wings are going. It's really easy to get them flipped. Creating the pages inside the moth cover. The kit comes with 4 different colors of parchment. These are for the pages in the book. So stack them all up. We're going to cut all the pages at once. Fold them in half vertically. Get them nice and tight together and get a good fold on there. Cut 1 set of pages for each wing. So on the fold, placing the straight edge of the wing, this is going to be where your binding is. Place that on the fold. Trace around it. Trace around the wing. Then cut that out. So now you have the artwork, 2 sets of cardstock wings and 2 sets of parchment wings. Next we're going to bind the pages. Open the pages, take the first page, and you're just putting a very small amount of glue in the gutters. Stick that onto the next page, fold it in there nice and tight. Continue through the stack of 4 pages. Pinch it together so it's all stacked with the edges nice and straight, and let them dry. Do that to both stacks. Creating your wing ruffles. Mark the front gutters. So we're going to start with one set of these. I'm going to write front right here, so I know that this is the gutters and this is the front. Decide what color you want your butterfly wings to be. Cut a 3/4 inch strip of crepe across the grain. So there's the stripes, and we're going to cut up this way. Cut 2 strips of that. Fold it down the center with the dark side out. Take your cardstock wing that you marked front on. Lightly glue the front and back edge of the cardstock except for the gutter. Tiny bit of glue on that side and tiny bit of glue on the other side. We're making this dark ruffle right here. Notice that it sticks out a little bit further past the artwork. So we do that by pinching this around the edge, making sure the ruffle sticks out 1/8 of an inch past the edge of the card. Now when you come to a bump, it's easiest if you push it towards your fingers and ruffle it up a little bit more. Go all the way around. I'm pinching very lightly, just in case I want to move it later. I'm going to take the corresponding piece. That's about even all the way around. You can pull some of it up if it's not quite even. Once you know it's in place, you can press it down a little bit better. Trim this edge straight. Repeat the wing ruffle step on the other side. Step number 5. Now we're going to put the lighter ruffle along the outside edge. Cut a 1 1/4 inch strip of your crepe paper, the same color, across the grain again. So there's 1 1/4, and cut another one. Same thing, 1 1/4. Now this time we're going to fold it in half with the light side out. We need to glue these edges together. So open it up slightly, teeny tiny bit of glue all the way down. Fold that closed. The first wing that you put the ruffle on, we're going to glue this on the back. You can see I'm just sort of pinching it down as I go along, sticking it in that glue. When you get to a corner, you can sort of push together the accordion folds to make a little ruffle. Trim the straight edge straight again where the binding goes. Repeat the same process to the right side. Now we're going to do the binding. Take one of your pieces of wire and one of your skewers. Leave a 1 inch tail sticking up and start wrapping a coil around the skewer. You don't want to pull too tight because you're going to have to slide this off the skewer, but you do want to get a very nice even wrap. Keep wrapping until you have 1 inch. Take your wire cutters and then trim off another 1 inch tail. Slide this off. Be careful to keep this nice and straight. Place the wings face down with the coil in the center. Bend the bottom wire to fit inside the ruffle. Glue the back of the corresponding cardstock and sandwich the wires. This is your leftover piece of wire. Thread that wire through the center of the hinge and bend over your 1 inch tails. This is your last piece of cardstock. Glue the back of the corresponding cardstock and sandwich the wires. Press the cardstock down and let dry. Creating the moth's tails. You can use whatever colors you want. Just cut a strip across the grain And point the edges. Fold it in half. I like to have the ends uneven and put a dot of glue on there. Attach the tails to your book. I'm going to do 2 colors. Step number 9. We're going to glue the pages in. Now, this is the inside of the front cover of the book. See how it still says front on there? And you have 2 ruffles? That's face down. Here's our pages, and we're just going to glue them right in on top of the cardstock. So there's the pages. Do the same thing with the other side. That's going to go there. Glue your pages right on top. Glue the artwork to the front side of the moth. You have your artwork left. There's the front of the book. I'm just going to glue the finished artwork on top. You can close up the book, squeeze it all together a little, and let that dry a little bit. So now we're going to attach the moth to the stem. Take a piece of wire, fold it in half, cut it in half. Now you're going to fold that in half again. And then wrap this around the end of the stick 3 times. And then twist it, just like you're doing a twisty on a plastic bag. You want to make sure these edges don't have any bends in them. So sometimes I just cut off a fresh end. So I'm going up through the bottom spine coil. He's going to sit right on there like that. And just put a little loop in the end of his antenna. Now the very last step is just to fluff everything up a little bit. Bend ruffles, stretching in opposite directions as you go along. Makes these nice ruffles and everything. Do it on the other side as well. And then fluff up your pages just a little bit. So I'm just separating them a little. There you have your moth books. For supplies, please visit us at castleintheair.biz/shop. We hope you enjoy this tutorial, and we will see you again.